Hello my lovely gamers, my name is Jonal, and today I'm coming at you guys with a little bit of a, what can I say, crazy team composition I suppose. To disclose this, it was not created by me, this was created by my teammate called Hakkee, my main healer, who came up with this good team composition that we now use from time to time when we scrim, and we are actually also planning on maybe to see the light of day when we play tournaments. Of course, this is still a little bit under construction, but now it has been that for about a month, so I feel that it's good enough to actually present it to you guys, so I hope you guys enjoy. So this is a team composition that's like to call the Omnic bullshit, and it consists of a Bastion and a Orisa, a Roadhog or a D.Va, but just say Roadhog for now, or a Winston, an Ana, and a Lucio. And this essentially forces the enemy team to run dive. It only works, so we have only tested on Numbani first point. And the reason I forced the enemy team to run a dive is of course because we're gonna set up on most of the high grounds. And we have so high damage output that if they try to run a death bolt with a Reinhardt, they're essentially gonna get melted. Their shield will break and they will not be able to actually reach our damage shields before they all start dying. So this sounds like a pretty crazy team composition, right? Because we're not running a dive comp because we have a Winston, which is the main tank, so that would initialize the dive comp, but we don't have a Tracer, we don't have a D.Va, we don't have a Genji, or a Pharah, not even a Widowmaker. We have a Bastion and a Orisa. And it's not a death ball, of course, because there's no Reinhardt. So if someone had told me before I got to actually think about this with my team and had a proper discussion about it, I would say they're crazy if they run this, because this sounds like a quick play strat. So let me explain a little bit more about the roles, about the tactics, how you use it, and also I want to talk a little bit about the end, how this may be able to affect you guys in your games in competitive, how you can use it, when you can use it, because it's not that hard to pull off. There's not that much synergy actually needed to actually make this work, especially since it's in competitive that the enemy team probably won't be synergy enough to do a proper dive to kill you. So let's just jump right in. So the roles is essentially like this. You have to play around your Bastion. Pretty obvious, right? And Orisa's role is to be Bastion's bodyguard, to put up shields. Maybe you have to body block with Fortify. I die a lot. I'm like the only guy dying because I'm damaged. I'm just blocking for my Bastion and trying to make sure my Bastion don't die. If I can hold some people off the high ground so that he can work easier on the rest, I sometimes do that and then just shoot at the same target as the Bastion or chase some stuff off. Sometimes I have to deal with a Tracer or something, and I'm of course the Orisa player on the team. Now the Hog is the D.Va killer, because D.Va is like the best counter for this team composition, since she can absorb damage. So normally what we see is the enemy team going something like D.Va, Winston, Genji, maybe also a Tracer, and then diving, right? So the Hog's job is to hook the D.Va away, and to stop the D.Va. And if they don't run a D.Va for some reason, then we mostly will win every engagement, but then the Hog can always go for the Winston or whatever, right? And if we have a D.Va instead of the Hog, then her job is, of course, when they fly in on us and put defense matrix around the Bastion, then they have 4 seconds for the Tracer, the Winston, and the Genji, or maybe the Pharah, to kill the Bastion. And our D.Va's job is then, of course, to put defense matrix around our Bastion, so that they can't deal any more damage than whatever the monkey manages to put out, and that Bastion can out-heal that himself. Now Ana is of course our main healer. Her job is just to heal everyone, use nade, maybe she can sleep dart the D.Va, right? That's her job, of course, just healing in general and being Ana. Lucio's job is to heal inside the Winston bubble and the defense matrix. Again, if he can push like the D.Va off high ground for half a second, then that always can help, or push her at least a little bit back. But in general, his job is just to heal up, and also when someone dies, which a lot of time is me, since we have this team composition, one of the weaknesses is that it takes some time to actually set up a defense. So when, for example, I die on Orisa, it's very important that a Lucio, when we have 1-day engagement, comes and gets me and speed moves me back on so I can set up my defense on the new place on the high ground. So how do you play this team composition? Well, as I say, you move in pairs, normally around 2, maybe 3 players at the same time. The Bastion and the Orisa always move together. Sometimes the Ana stacks on it, sometimes the Hog is with us. What I actually forgot to say is the Winston's role. That's actually my bad. The Winston's role is of course to leap onto the support line. Make sure that the Ana and maybe the Senjata cannot heal and generally just harass them so that there's no healing for the enemy team to get. And if you can't do that for some reason, or if there's any other reason, then of course the Winston can also leap up to high ground and help us taser down the Tracer and the Genji and put more pressure on them than possible. So now we can go on to tactics. Very sorry about that, it's a little bit late when I record this. So the tactics of this game is essentially that we move around a lot. So we set up, we stay together, the Bastion and the Orisa, and then we win that engagement, then we move to the new position. Then we win there, and then maybe we move back to our old position, but we are always moving around, so we're never standing on the same spot twice. That's very, very important. If you do that, then you die. Always stay on the high ground, of course, never stay low ground, so it's hard for them to get us with something like a Tracer. And then it's really just to do one focus target. And as soon as the enemy team engage, essentially how it looks normally is that our Winston leaves their backline, and their divers leave our Bastion. Our Hog hooks their D.Va, at least tries to. And our Ana just start nading and healing, and then the Bastion, the Orisa just opens fire at whatever we want to open fire at. That's really all that is. But what's very important to notice with this, because this team composition, as it had some weaknesses. One of the weaknesses, of course, D.Va, and another one is that if we die and we don't manage to swap, then we lose second phase of the map, right? So it's very important that if you think that you lost, then you just swap it off. Then you just swap the Bastion and you swap the Orisa, so that you swap up over to some new heroes. Because if you don't do that, then you're kind of fucked. On second phase, if they kept the point, then you try to come back with the Bastion or Orisa. Now, this team composition, we are trying it at some full holds. At mid teams, we managed to full hold without really too much trouble, but again, mid teams are not that hard to beat. Against other high teams, we managed a lot of time to stall for about 4 to 6 fights until they managed to get a grip in, but we still don't believe that's the team composition fault. We actually think that's our own fault for not playing it proper, so it's a little bit weird to get used to. But it's very good, especially on a 1 to 2 minute hold, right? So if both team pushed on overtime the card into the last area, so that both teams repoint, then you will have 1 minute to defend and they will have 1 minute to attack and try to cap the first point. Setting up this, they don't have time to swap. Really, they have time for 1 push, maybe 2, depending on how long time that push will take. And setting up something like this is very what the fuck factor, right? It's this shock strategy that no one expected. All of a sudden, there's high damage. You have to kind of kill the Bastion, but if you didn't go in there with a D.Va, then you're not gonna be able to do that. So one of your teammates has to go back, get a D.Va, then get back in, and then hope they can cap. And it's very, very weird. And even like that, you need a very coordinated dive to that, and you don't need a very coordinated defense. The Bastion and the Orisa playing together and getting some heals, and that's really all you need. However, they need to really stack on you with DPSs and tanks to be able to kill the Bastion or Orisa fast enough, or else they're just gonna lose the fight. So I think that especially if you have this like 1 minute and 20 second, right, maybe up to 2 minute hold, and you need to hold this point, then it's really good. That's what I think. I think that's one where you guys can be able to use this properly. Of course, you need to get the entire team on with it. And for full holds, I would maybe not recommend it too much unless you have enough friends and you feel confident enough with your team, because that's something that I think it's more up to the speed of like a 6-man stack team, because then you're sure that everyone knows their role and plays synergy. Because if you don't do that and your Bastion dies in the beginning of the engagement, then there's no use of having this team comp, right? Then you're just gonna lose the point way faster than you would have it because you can't really stall with any of these heroes. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know what you guys think about videos like this, and drop down in the comments. I hope you guys is having a wonderful gaming experience. Like the video if you like, dislike if you dislike. Drop down your thoughts in the comment, drop down video suggestions if there's anything you want to see, and join the community on Discord if you want yourself reviewed for coaching, if you have any requests in general, just want to talk around. I usually check out the channels a couple times a day, so we're always active there. Follow me on Twitter if you want to keep updated on my team. If you want to keep updated on the channel, I usually post my stuff there. Besides that, guys, I've been Jonal, and as always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.